they got really good delivery from set play, so try not give away a free kick or a needless corner or a needless free kick, and then before we're even kind of sitting down, it's we're 1-0 down and giving ourselves a mountain to climb, which unfortunately we've been doing too much recently. Look, we came back into the game really well. We probably dominated the game after that. I don't remember until the last minute when they had a shot whether them really having a chance in the game. And yeah, at that point I think it's the least we deserved of it, but we probably should have all 3 points again, but that seems to be what we've been saying recently. But the problem is we give ourselves that mountain to climb, and it just, not that it makes a negative atmosphere about the place, because in fairness the supporters were fantastic today, and to be fair to them, they haven't had much to cheer about recently, so credit with the big crowd that we had today. There's a lot of credit to the fans for making the noise they did and helping us to get back into the game, but we need to do better. We need to show a little bit more, and probably more, when I say I show a bit more, maybe it's more so that we just don't have to give a team a leg up in the game and give them an easy way into the game, because as I said, I don't need to have a chance until the last minute again, which is us switching off. So if we can nullify that, the results will start to get better, and we can go on some sort of a run, which like we done last year. But we do know it is going to be tough, but we are capable of doing that. We easily could have won either of the last 3 games, I suppose. When we do go ahead like we did at Morecambe, we need to finish the game off. We should have finished that off in the first half that day, but look, we didn't, and as I said, we lost the game in the end. But the important thing is we got a point today. We make sure that when we go again on New Year's Day, that we don't give the opposition an easy way into the game, and we take the bull by the horns early in the game, and I suppose put them on the back foot. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as the Checker Trade game is, or was, should I say. But it's important that we get back to winning ways and get back quickly. Yeah, of course, always disappointed when you don't start the game. I think it's, as a striker, I suppose you always have a chance to come on and kind of make a big impact, especially when I suppose you're a goal down. But this year, with the 3 of us that have been up front and Dom as well coming into the fold a bit more so recently, there has been options for the gaffer to do, and that was the gaffer's decision to make. And when it has been a different pair, and Jama has come off the bench, made a difference. Tristan's come off the bench, made a difference. So it's about sitting down, watching the game, see where the weaknesses are in the opposition, see where you can exploit when you go on, and when you go on, take your chance and do as much as you can. It's frustrating when you're sitting on the bench watching the game, because you're always thinking, I could do this or I could do that, or that's a position where I could take up. But that's where you have to be clever when you're watching the game, and not just sitting there waiting for the manager to give you the shout, but also be watching the game for their weaknesses. I'm happy enough. I want to score as many as I can. Obviously, nice to score again today, but I want to score New Year's Day and start the new year with a bang, and score as many goals. And as I said, hopefully they'll turn us in draws into victories, or losses into draws, or whatever way it might be. But it's important that we do. I suppose, as I said, whoever gets a chance takes a chance, and then we do go on some sort of a run, but we need to start soon.
There we go. So Podge on the bench to start off with, Stephen, and Kim after. Thoughts on that?
Well, I can understand what Flynny is trying to do. I think a lot of people will be surprised when you've got your top scorer sitting on the bench and he's suffering from a lack of goals and creativity. But, Michael Flynn makes these decisions, and like you said, his game plan was kind of ruined in the first minute, really. He was caught surprised by Leyton Orient changing their formation. They kind of went with a 4-3-1-2, whereas they normally play like 4-1-4-1. So I think that caught them off guard a little bit. But they grew into the game, and I think Armand coming on made a difference with 3 up front. He had a couple of chances, and one he put away, thankfully, and rescued the point. Yeah,
again, it's thank you to the team at Newport for getting the interviews for us and letting us use them as always. I got a real clear understanding of what the mentality was at 2:55, as we always say, and kind of what I understand the game plan. I understand they've watched Leyton Orient and they thought, we're going to set the team to do this, and we'll bring Amond on later and we'll go from there. Yeah. Again, just the early goal. It happens in football.
Yeah, and like Michael Flynn said, I mean, after Leyton Orient scored, they kind of seemed happy to just sit back and basically played for a 1-0 win, to be honest. They weren't as creative after they scored. Yeah. And after about the first 10 minutes where County got the grips of them, I think, a bit more, and offered more of a threat themselves. I mean, just in that first half, I think County had 9 shots compared to Leyton Orient's 3. At the end of the game, it was 19 shots to County, 7 to Leyton Orient. So, yeah, could have stolen it towards the end.
Okay, so 22 minutes into this podcast / radio show, and I get to ask a question which I normally ask about, 7-15 minutes into it. Wrapping it all up then, so you were there, right in front of you, doing the commentary, updating Newport City Radio's Twitter and Facebook accounts. How did you feel at 5 o'clock?
Well, I got to be honest, I was feeling quite happy. It was, as Luke alluded to, it was emotional, especially with the tributes to Justin Edinburgh, half-time. The whole ground showing respect for the man. It made me fill up a little bit, I got to be honest. I don't think I was alone in that when Charlie Edinburgh was speaking.
Hold on for a minute, because I do want to go into a little bit more detail on that one second.
Okay.
So let's go back to the game itself. It just felt that there'd been a memo sent to every Newport County person, not via electronic, but implanted in their brain, saying, if you're going to come today, if you're going to go to Rodney Parade, do me a favour. Actually back the team and actually support them and show them, that you're behind them. Because it's felt really, really negative up until, 2:55 yesterday afternoon. Certainly, again, obviously the very special occasion that we're going to go into in a couple of seconds' time. But it felt that everyone was on message. Everybody went to Rodney Parade yesterday and thought, do you know what? Christmas is out of the way. Let's get behind them. Yeah,
definitely. I think 2 things. The crowd was a lot better. On Twitter, Mark Sadler says, he said his loud chanting, he's not heard at Rodney Parade for a good few weeks, which is, it was the whole stadium was into it. There was a good away following as well, which added to it too. But I think the performance as well, I think that's what helped too. So, I think I was feeling quite good. There was a lot of desire. There was a lot of, all the things people said been lacking was all there in spades yesterday.
Okay, reflect on our Facebook pages. Again, thank you very much for getting involved with that one. A lot of tweets again about Justin Edinburgh, so I'm going to keep them for the next bit of the show. But on the question that I asked, only one person got in there and really answered it, and that was Gareth Smithy Barnett. Gutted, but a point is better than nothing. Lisa Jones and Rachel Hodges, I'm going to tell you off because you didn't answer the question. They're trying the emotional blackmail route, which might just work in the future, but I'll tell you who the winner is for the tickets in just a couple of minutes' time. So, look, for yourself yesterday, how did you feel at 5 o'clock when the final whistle went?
I was quite disappointed, really, because even though we went 1-0 down, we showed great character to come back and draw, but I thought with our performance yesterday, I thought we could have scored another goal, another few even, and I thought we could have won the game yesterday.
Okay, so disappointment, but not in the purest sense, because I think we've all been disappointed recently, haven't we, by the way it's gone. Talk to me about the way they played yesterday, in your opinion. So it felt an improvement. Agree, disagree?
Agree, strongly agree. I think we played a lot better yesterday. Normally we get the ball and we just get hit and hope, as the old saying goes. Get it forward and hope one of our players can get on the end of it, and that hasn't worked. But yesterday, we actually got the ball down. We was playing proper football.
Could you put your finger on why that happened yesterday, where it hasn't happened maybe in other games?
Because we had to go for the game. We were 1-0 down, and I think if we lost yesterday then, or didn't play well, I think then the fans would have really turned on Flynny.
It feels that maybe it's not a lack of confidence has been the problem, because if you go 0 down in first minute?
Yeah.
Usually heads would go down, and that's it really, and that's I think when you've got a real problem in football. This didn't happen yesterday, did it?
It didn't.
It kind of galvanised them a little bit, and then Flynny made the changes and ended up being a draw, which is what they need at that point, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, stat attack. Give me your stats. What have you got?
Well, quite interesting, really. We've been talking past couple of shows about how poor performances have been and how we're not getting the chances. Average shots per game is 13. Now, if we were playing poor, I don't know what you think about this, Stephen, but if we were playing poor, then that number would be significantly lower. But it's not. It's 13 shots per game, which is a respectable amount, I think it's fair to say.
Yep, okay.
On this, it doesn't show that performances have been as poor as we are making out. What do you think, Stephen?
Well, I think it's like the shots on target is the problem. I think rather than the amount of shots, it's like from the Salford game you had like one shot on target, And then for the next 4 or 5 games, the most shots on target they've had is 3. And that's in games against Exeter and Stevenage, where they've had 11 shots against Exeter, 12 against Morecambe. And it's the amount of shots on target. It's almost half what it was this time last year, the shots on target. And I think Chris Silverthorne made a good point in his blog, no advertised, but he said
that needs a mention because
to do with the amount of possession, and I think he made a good point.
Taft's word was absolutely stunning this week, and I sent you to a chance to look at it as well because he goes deep into the stats, which I think we've got our own little mini version of that coming up when we review the season so far. But he's gone deep into it.
But one of his points is you can't win games if you're only averaging 23% possession, so you're not going to create. So I think there are deep problems, but we saw encouraging signs yesterday.
And that's really what he put his finger on that as being the main number one problem, really, because wasn't it throughout his blog that saying that it's on a par pretty much? Most departments and most stats are on a par, apart from that one.
Yeah, I think, he went through quite a lot of different things with the assists. He said, like, Nurse and Haynes, I've only had like 1 assist each or 1 goal, whereas this time, I think over last season, Dan Butler had like 4 goals, 6 assists. So there's like not as much coming from the left and the right hand side. It's down all across the pitch, really. Yeah. But one thing he did say is the defence is a lot better. They've only conceded 19 goals this season. I think it was something like 40 odd this time last season. Yeah. So there are. I think he did a really good point about showing that it's not all doom and gloom.
I think, I can't recommend it enough. If you love your stats and you love your football, and go and have a look at that video on YouTube because it's just really, really fascinating, the numbers. And it is painting the picture. I'm sure the club's got all the stats and they've got all the numbers too. But to hear it from a different voice, just found it really, really brilliant, which is why I sent it to you guys. Okay, this is Sport Hour on Newport City Radio, sponsored by the Neon. On the 31st December, which is kind of tomorrow, New Year's Eve, it's New Year's Eve at the Neon. DJ Shy and Lucas Alexander, who does a brilliant Ed Sheeran act, is going to be right here. Check out the details on the Neon website.
Extremely low frequency.
Right here, right now.
Newport City Radio.
We're normally live on the Sunday afternoon on www.newportcityradio.org and the TuneIn app as well. And the podcast will be available later today. I'm going to go home. Well, I'm going to do some stuff in between, go home and get the podcast up today, hopefully, but always the day after. This week, a little bit later in the week, we'll have an extended interview with Josh Sheehan, and it's available on all good podcast providers via our link on Facebook and Twitter. Quick fire round. Mismatches in one word. Bradford, Stephen.
Bradford, well, I would say, disappointing.
Yeah. Okay, so it was a 1-0 win for Bradford. Luke, mismatches in one word. Stevenage, of course, 1-1.
Lucky.
Okay, Morecambe away 2-1 to Morecambe, Stephen.
Well, can I use 2 words?
Go on, it's Christmas.
Missed opportunity.
You can have that one. Exeter away, Luke.
Hangover.
For you or the team?
Team.
Okay, right, okay, too much turkey. Man of the match, Stephen, for this game?
George Nurse.
Do you agree?
Yes, but I got to be honest, I was also really impressed with Mickey Demetriou yesterday. I think his commanding at the back, he was organising the team, but also as well, something that I haven't seen a Newport County centre-back do this year, was he was actually running with the ball into the opponent's half. It was, there was a quite worrying moment where he went down after the foul.
We're all intended to accept wherever something happens in the Mickey where
it was. Yeah, he went in for a 50-50 with, I think it was Clay, and he was down for a little while, but he soon got back up. But
all right, stop it, you. This is a quick fire round. So Luke, we're at the mic. For you, Townsend or King?
King.
Okay, why?
So far this season, when Tom King's been in goal, we've gone on that long unbeaten run. He's made himself a call up to the Wales squad. Yeah, King for me. Okay,
can't be just King though. It's got to be more than that that's gone a bit wobbly lately. Surely.
Well,
it's your opinion. Go for it.
Yeah, I'd have King over Townsend.
Okay, that'll do. That's got that one. Stephen, who is the suggested new goalie on Katie Chat this week?
Oh yes, I can't remember his name, but he's a good breed. He's a good catcher, and he can run after a ball as well. So, but I can't remember his name.
He might feel a bit rough at the end of matches.
Yeah.
Sorry, bad joke. There's
Yeah,
a great.
and he gets paid in Borneo.
Exactly.
Other
So
dog treats are available.
forgive us for forgetting the dog's name, but it's just the